Melissa Swartz is, how do I put it into simple terms? She's brilliant. She's been doing this a long time. Her own company firm since 1991. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. Which means you're just over 42, 43 years old, which is awesome.
Right. I was an early starter.
Yes. But as most people our age, you got your start in telecom. And I think you had, what was it, GTE and Southwestern Bell in your background?
I did. Worked for Southwestern Bell and then a couple other phone companies before I went out on my own.
For some of the people on our session today, you might have to circle back and explain what a phone company is, but we'll talk.
Yeah, exactly.
And Melissa kind of pulled together some of her content and interesting stuff. And I said, boy, what can we do? She said, let's do some poll questions. Let's have some fun. So be a little different introduction, but Melissa, I won't take any more time. I'll turn it over to you to get us going.
So hello, everybody. This is my slide on contact center evolution, and it really ignored the dates. And I mean, there's stuff that's left off here, but the idea is that as the technology has developed, we've kind of moved from cost reduction into customer experience as an industry. I'm not saying that every single contact center out there is more focused on customer experience and cost reduction, but generically, as an industry, that's where the trend's going. And the other thing that the chart is intended to show is just that there's an acceleration in the changes in the technology. So it started out, there were changes every 10 years, and then it's like now it's every 6 months or 3 days. So it's speeding up, and the emphasis has changed. It's just really the import of this slide. So Michelle, go to the next one, please. So I've always thought that this hype cycle from Gartner is very, very true. There's 5 stages, so don't even try to read the fine print on the right. It's not necessarily talking about contact center technology, but it's just the idea of the hype cycle being that innovation is triggered, and then there is the peak of inflated expectations. And so they put different technologies on there, like, not only will they save you money, but they're going to, I don't know, drive your car and take care of your kids and make coffee all at the same time. And then those things don't happen, and you hit the trough of disillusionment where it's like it didn't fulfill the promises they told us it would do. And then eventually you get into, okay, now we're figuring out how to use it and how to make it effective. So eventually a lot of these technologies will make it through to the other side, but before they do, there can be some angst, I guess. So as a consultant, when I work with different clients, I think the main question that I get universally is, what is everybody else doing? Are we ahead? Are we behind? What's everybody else doing? Are we on track? What should we be worried about? So based on that, I thought it would be fun. Let's just find out. Let's ask everybody here, what are you doing? And you can see what your peers are doing, and let's find out. So the first poll question is really about what kind of problems you're facing. So Michelle, if you'll throw up the first poll, let's talk about, and this is a check anything that applies. You're not limited to one answer here. But
and you can be responding on behalf of your client base or what you're
right.
seeing in the industry, right? Got it.
Yeah, you don't have to be. This is more just to give everybody sort of a sense of what issues people are dealing with out there. So the winner is limitations of existing system. So I
thought that said limitation of existing management. I'm sorry,
it could be that too. Could very well be that. So number 2 is personalization is difficult, yes, and expected, unfortunately. All right, so then it looks like too much time spent on documentation is next. Then no predictive tools. Oh, hang on, we've got increasing customer expectations down there at 50% too. So, yeah, customers are expecting more, and they're expecting it faster, and yet we don't have the tools to give it to them. So I'm interested. I'm seeing people that are saying no multi-channel, no omni-channel, no proactive or predictive tools. Caller authentication is not a big problem, it doesn't look like. Multi-channel is not a big huge issue for everybody. So limitations of existing system, that's interesting. Okay. So sort of says where we are right now, sort of sets the stage. So when you hear and you read stuff about the industry, everything right now that I'm hearing is all about artificial intelligence. And Gartner has a study that you have to be subscribed to get the entire study, but there's a quote from it that I've seen repeatedly lately, and it says, the quote is, in 2023, 40% of contact center interactions will be fully automated by using either artificial intelligence, machine learning, and self-service, up from 25% in 2018. And I was talking to Michelle about when we were putting this together, and I said, 25% of my clients are not using AI right now. Self-service, yes. And so they threw self-service in there, and so I wonder if that's why that number's so high, because I think AI is out there. I think it's embedded in a lot of products and stuff, but I am not seeing that kind of adoption in the clients that I'm working with. So what is everybody doing, really? So let's do the second survey question, which is, what do you have today? And then the third question will be more about what are you planning to do in the near future. So Michelle, would you throw out the second poll question, please? We got responses? Okay, here we go. Okay, everybody's doing call recording. That makes sense. Workforce, pretty often, and quality monitoring. Multi-channel, much more than omni-channel. That I would totally expect. So we do have people doing chatbots and proactive notifications and artificial intelligence. So we've got 38% using artificial intelligence. So that makes this crew above average. Or I don't know. This was the 2018 was 25%.
It's
so
an above average crew. Did you just call us? You were assuming we were all below average?
Well, no. The number was 25%. So we have like objective proof here that that this group's at 38% of using AI. So all right. So let's look at what's coming in the future. So Michelle, would you throw that slide up? This is the last of the slides. And this slide is more about really kind of different areas where people are using, I'm using the term artificial intelligence just because I don't really want to get super geeky about artificial intelligence versus machine learning versus, whatever. I mean, there's all these little sub definitions. So the big things that I'm seeing in terms of areas where I consistently, from vendor presentation to vendor presentation, I see people's vision of the future being, it's in things like agent assist, where the agent is still taking the calls, but if there's a question that's coming up, the AI is monitoring the call, and it says, "Oh, this is a question about, I don't know, billing and payment," and it can bring information to the agent that's relative to that. And typically afterward, there's some sort of survey that says, "Was this helpful or not?" So the AI can continue to learn and tweak and get better at assisting those agents. And so the idea is that you can make the rest the same as the best, make everybody a better agent and reduce training time. So, and you don't have to wait for somebody to listen in and coach you because it's always happening. So that to me actually is one of the more fascinating areas about where I think it could really help contact centers. Chatbots, and it'll be interesting when we get to where we're able to talk here a little bit. I'd love to hear about your experiences with chatbots. Most of the people that I know that have used them are in the trough of disillusionment as far as chatbots and them not necessarily living up to the promise that we were hoping for. The other items were automated identification. So having a way to authenticate callers and automate that so that you're not having to spend a whole lot of time asking them questions. Monitoring, so having the tools to where the monitoring's automated, and you don't have to actually go in and listen. So the tool can tell, did your agent stay on script? Are they compliant? Did they say something they weren't supposed to say? And do all that kind of tedious monitoring kind of stuff. And then in the proactive intelligent routing, there's two areas that I've seen that in. One is just in terms of the customer journey, where if they get to a certain point and if they do one thing, it indicates they're maybe going to buy, and if they do something else, and that means that they're losing interest, then maybe it pops up a chat or gives them a coupon or something to kind of keep them going down that road to make a purchase. And then the other way that I've seen that intelligent routing framed is in matching the best agent with the call. So maybe it's based on personality, it may be based on, but a lot of just, if I've got this person calling in, it would know enough about the caller, and I say call, it could be the contact, whoever they're contacting you, not necessarily a call, but the potential interaction, that they can say, okay, this person needs somebody who's peppy and fast, and this other person may need somebody who's high in empathy. And so it routes them the call, not only based on subject matter, but actually based on personality traits. So those are some of the future things that I have seen coming that I think are actually, eventually will be great. I think they're hard to set up, and I don't think it's an easy journey to get there, but let's find out. What is this group planning to do in the next 24 to 36 months? So Michelle, would you throw up that third poll, please? Okay, so short-term, artificial intelligence is the winner. And again, that has so many different flavors underneath it. But it looks like the hype is there, but people are planning to implement. And interestingly, the rest of those fall almost neck and neck, except for increased self-service, which totally makes sense. But we've got 27, 27, 27, 27, 5 of them that are at 27%. So a lot of technology use coming in the plans. All right, let's go to the very, very last poll question here, Michelle, the next one. And authentication rises within 36 months. That's interesting. So, and then second place was Agent Assist. I love that. I love that. So things that are going to save time and make the agents better. Chatbots is third, and then monitoring is the lowest on the list, and proactive call routing and sentiment analysis are together. So very interesting answers. Okay, so thanks everybody, and now you know what other people are doing. So let's open it up. I'd love to hear people's thoughts and comments on this. What have you tried? What's working? What's not working? Lessons learned, things we can all learn from, so we're not stepping into the pit of despair.
Lisa, I got a question for you. Do you think some of those answers would have been different pre-pandemic, post-pandemic? I guess my first thought was, are we now a little more attuned to our people, and maybe the shift of where we're going to make investments going to help them do their jobs better?
I think that's a great question, and I think one of the things that very first slide didn't show is not only are we moving towards the importance of customer experience, but behind that, people are recognizing that happy agents make happy customers. And so, I don't know if I call it another wave or just a subset of the customer experience, but we're definitely a lot more concerned about how happy our agents are compared to especially 10 years ago. So yeah, I think that the trend was moving that way, and the pandemic certainly changed focus on it, I think. And the other thing the pandemic has done is a lot of people had to adopt new technologies fast. And so I think we've all learned that we can do it faster than we thought. And so I think people are more willing to try new things in some ways.